100 years of delay have passed since President Lincoln freed the slaves, yet their heirs, their grandsons, are not fully free. They are not yet freed from the bonds of injustice.
The cost of freedom is always high, but Americans have always paid it. And one path we shall never choose, and that is the path of surrender.
Oh, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
What kind of a peace do I mean, and what kind of a peace do we seek? Not a Pax Americana, enforced on the world by American weapons of war.
It is in the light of that history that every nation today should know, be he friend or foe, that the United States has both the will and the weapons to join free men in standing up to their responsibilities.
Not the peace of the grave or the security of the slave. I am talking about genuine peace, the kind of peace that makes life on earth worth living, the kind that enables men and nations to grow and to hope and build a better life for their children. Not merely peace for Americans, but peace for all men and women. Not merely peace in our time, but peace in all time.
100 years of delay have passed since President Lincoln freed the slaves, yet their heirs, their grandsons, are not fully free. They are not yet freed from the bonds of injustice. They are not yet freed from social and economic oppression. Among us would then be content with the counsels of patience and delay.
I believe in an America where the separation of church and state is absolute,
Where no Catholic prelate would tell the president, should he be Catholic, how to act, and no Protestant minister
would tell his parishioners for whom to vote, where no church or church school is granted any
public funds or political preference.
And this nation, for all its hopes and all its boasts, will not be fully free until all its citizens are free.
We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it.
And I am proud to visit the Federal Republic with your distinguished Chancellor, who for so many years has committed Germany to democracy.
I pledge you that we shall neither commit nor provoke aggression, that we shall neither flee nor invoke the threat of force, that we shall never negotiate out of fear, and we shall never fear to negotiate.
There is very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its needs to the very limits of official censorship and concealment.
Terror is not a new weapon. Throughout history, it has been used by those who could not prevail either by persuasion or example. But inevitably they fail, either because men are not afraid to die for a life worth living, or because the terrorists themselves came to realize that free men cannot be frightened by threats and that aggression would meet its own response.
The path we have chosen for the present is full of hazards, as all paths are. But it is the one most consistent with our character and courage as a nation and our commitments around the world. The cost of freedom is always high, but Americans have always paid it. And one path we shall never choose, and that is the path of surrender.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal, to that day when this city will be joined as one, and this country, and this great continent of Europe, in a peaceful and hopeful globe.
I am talking about genuine peace, the kind of peace that makes life on earth worth living, the kind that enables men and nations to grow and to hope and build a better life for their children. Not merely peace for Americans, but peace for all men and women. Not merely peace in our time, but peace in all time.
The heart of the question is whether all Americans are to be afforded equal rights and equal opportunities.
I know of no town, no city that has been besieged for 18 years that still lives with the vitality and the force and the hope and the determination of the city of West Berlin.
We are confronted primarily with a moral issue. It is as old as the Scriptures and is as clear as the American Constitution. The heart of the question is whether all Americans are to be afforded equal rights and equal opportunities. Whether we are going to treat our fellow Americans as we want to be treated. If an American, because his skin is dark, cannot eat lunch in a restaurant open to the public, if he cannot send his children to the best public school available, if he cannot vote for the public officials who represent him, if, in short, he cannot enjoy the full and free life which all of us want, then who among us would be content to have the color of his skin changed, stand in his place?
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings.
And this nation, for all its hopes and all its boasts, will not be fully free until all its citizens are free.
When that day finally comes, as it will, the people of West Berlin can take sober satisfaction in the fact that they were in the front lines for almost 2 decades. This generation of Germans has earned the right to be free, including the right to unite their families and their nation in lasting peace with goodwill to all people.
Even today, there is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it.
What is the great issue between the free world and the communist world? There are some who say that communism is the wave of the future. Let them come to Berlin. There are even a few who say that it's true that communism is an evil system, but it permits us to make economic progress. Freedom has many difficulties, and democracy is not perfect. But we have never had to put a wall up to keep our people in, to prevent them from leaving us. While the wall is the most obvious and vivid demonstration of the failures of the communist system, for all the world to see, we take no satisfaction in it. Real lasting peace in Europe can never be assured as long as 1 German out of 4 is denied the elementary right of free men, and that is to make a free choice, to lift your eyes beyond the dangers of today to the hopes of tomorrow, beyond the freedom merely of this city of Berlin or your country of Germany, to the advance of freedom everywhere.
There is little value in opposing the threat of a closed society by imitating its arbitrary restrictions.
To all mankind, freedom is indivisible. And when one man is enslaved, all are not free. When all are free, then we look forward to that day when this city will be joined as one and this country